In this next assignment, we're going to work in the cloud. So we're going to work on Excel online rather than in the desktop app, so we get a feel how it works in both ways of working. So I've gone to my Office 365, office.com, and I've clicked on Excel, and I've opened up this Excel document. Again, it's called Book 3, because this is a workbook, and this workbook is just the third one that I've used. So if I want to change the name, I just select the name there, and for this one, we're going to do a marks book. So one of the things that you might want to do is have a calculator which will work out what marks you're getting for the term, so that you know what's appearing on your report is accurate. So I've drawn up my subjects, and I've drawn up term 1, term 2, there's a mid-year exam, term 3, and an end-of-year exam. And obviously I want a total at the end to find out what my final mark is, and I want averages for each term. So a couple of things here. First of all, I want to select all of this, and I want to go in on the font, and I just want to give it a border so that all of them have borders. I think these headings over here, I definitely want to center them, make them bold. My subjects over here, etc., I'm just going to make it bold. They will stay on the left. I'm just going to go click, click there, just so it fills the space. And I'm going to add some shading by using the paint bucket. And the shading will just shade in all my headings and my labels. Now, numbers normally format to the right-hand side, but I think in this case, it's going to look better if they center. So I've got two alignments, top, middle, and bottom. So I'm going to put it in the middle of the screen, just in case rows get bigger or smaller. But I'm also going to center it, left, center, and right. So I'm going to center it there as well. So I've just punched in some random marks. These are the marks I've got for the year. And now I want to work out total, and I want to work out some averages. You'll notice right at the bottom here it says sheet 1. Well, this is the name of the sheet, and you'll notice there's a little plus sign here. And if you need more sheets, sheet 2, sheet 3, you can add further sheets to your book. So this is a workbook. You'll notice it's called a marks book over here. It's called book, and it has different sheets on it. A bit like creating, like an exercise book full of different sheets showing different things. Well, these are my marks for 2020. So I just went to where it says sheet 1, and I went click, click, and I'm going to rename the sheet 2020 and click OK. And you can see at the bottom here, it's changed that to 2020. Over here, I can change it to 2021, may 2021 roll on rather quickly. And sheet 3, 2023. So I've got a whole mark book for all my marks coming up for the year ahead. Now, you'll notice that these are formatted just as general. So if I select these, it says general. What I could do is change it to number. And you'll notice what it then does. It goes 88.00. It's taking it to 2 decimal places. If I go up here on the number, what I can do is, you'll notice it's got the decimal places to increase decimals. So if I wanted to have more decimals, I would do that direction. And if I want to decrease the decimals, I would just click there. I don't want to see decimal numbers. It'll round up. If it's more than 0.5, it'll round up. If it's less than 0.5, it'll round down. So I'm quite happy with that. What if you wanted to have it showing as percentages? You'll notice one of your options here is to format as percentage. So I'd select all my number cells, and I'm just going to click on percentage, but you'll notice it's got, instead of 88, it's got 8,800. That's because it's not dividing by naught. If I go here and I put 0.88, you'll notice it shows up as 88%. I'll just use a Control Z to go back to where I was. So clearly, if I want it to be in percentages, I'm going to have to go, like 0.76, 0.79, etc. So I'll just untick there, no, sorry, not percentage, I'll just go back to number and then just decrease the decimals again. So now what I need to do, first of all, is I want to get an average for all of this. So if I put my mouse over here and I go up to editing, and instead of auto sum, I can choose the average. I click on average, and it automatically wants to add up that whole column. And in this case, B2 to B9, it's going to equals. All formulae and functions start with an equal sign. And what's it going to do? It's going to find the average of B2 to B9. That's correct. I could just select it again just to make sure it's doing the right ones. And again, I don't click with my mouse anywhere, otherwise it will include that cell in the calculation. I just go enter, and it gives me an average of 76. And I can just drag that across. Wow. Okay, how did that work? Let me just get rid of those. Well, essentially what I'm doing here is I'm taking that cell, so I'm going to select it. And if I go Control-C to copy, I can then select all along here and go Control-V and paste it. Okay, so you'll notice here, if we look in the editor at the top, it's finding equals average C2 to C9. The next one equals average D2 to D9. So by copying the formula across, I don't have to retype it. The faster way of doing that, let me just select that and delete it again, is to click on that cell and then go down to the bottom right-hand corner of the cell. You can see my mouse has now turned into crosshairs. I just click, left click on the mouse, and just drag it across. What about this end one? It says divide by 0. Its formula is right, G2 to G9. It should be finding that, but you'll notice there's nothing here in the total column. That's why we're getting this little error message. Don't worry about it. You don't have to change it because when numbers are added in here, it will do the division by 0. So that will find a straight average. Now, here's the thing. LO counts for half. Okay, so, and what if the person has more than 7 subjects, etc.? Then what it will do is it will take the 7 subjects that the student is doing, LO counting half, and it will take the top 7 subjects. You know, with compulsories, you must do English and maths and things like that. So there are different rules for finding the average that we have at our school to just finding a straight average. This is how to do a straight average. If you have particular rules, then it would get quite complicated. And I think what we're going to do is I'll come back to that in a later video when we're a bit more advanced. Now for the total, our rules are that term 1, term 2, exam counts double, term 3, and then the other exam counts double. So I need to type in a formula which is going to add this plus this times 2, plus this times 2, and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and divide by 7. So really, if you think about it, it's equals, and I click there, B2, then I use the plus sign on my keyboard, plus term 2, plus the exam, plus the mid-year exam again, plus term 3, plus the end of year exam. And this is where it's spreading a bit, and so I can't put that in, but it's F2. So I'm going to type in F2 plus F2. It's a little bit annoying that it happens like that. And then I'm going to divide by 7. And when I type that in, it comes to 494. Obviously, I've made a mistake. And you can see here, the division happens first. The rules of BODMAS, etc. That F2 will be divided by 7 and then added, but all the others will just be added. So what I need to do is put brackets round equals B2 plus C2 plus D2 plus D2 plus E2 plus F2, then close my brackets, so it does all of that addition first, and then divides by 7. And that comes to 81. And a quick eye test, always do a kind of guesstimate. So sort of high 70s, low 80s, bit of high 80s. Okay, low 80 seems about right. And then if I copy that down, again, just by going to the right-hand corner, clicking there, and then dragging it down. And if your mouse skills are not that hot, you might miss that quite a lot for the first time. So another way of doing it is just to go copy that first cell and then select the other cells and go paste. And you'll notice it'll put in your total for the year. This is your year mark, so maybe promotion mark, maybe I should change that. And two very simple calculations: how to type in a formula using arithmetical signs like plus, minus, the dash for divide. I'm sure you know what to do for multiplication. Yeah, it's the asterisk. So you've got plus sign, minus sign, multiply, and divide. And of course, don't forget your brackets, and that allows you to do your basic arithmetic calculations. Remember that formulae always begin with an equal sign. So begin with your equal sign and then click on the cells that you want to use, or type them in, like C2, C3, etc., and use the arithmetical signs to create your formula for your calculation. And that 79 should be about right. If you look around, that mainly gone around there, a little bit up, but sometimes a little bit down, so 79 seems right. Always do that kind of guesstimate test to see whether you've typed in the formula correctly or not. Create your own markbook with your own subjects and your own marks and upload it as assignment 3. Remember to format it so it looks nice. Mine doesn't look that nice. Format it so it looks really nice, and remember to name your tab. See you next time.